So hi everyone, welcome back to my channel SimplyIgnited UPSC BPSC. So today we are going to see as usual and understand the Hindu newspaper. We'll analyze the same and mark out what are the most important articles with respect to our examination. Okay, so first things first, I was not making videos till date. I think from September 1 or 2 till today, because obviously there were exams like BPSC pre was there, then BPSC mains was there, so back to back exams were there, and now again BPSC pre is again coming. So and then UPSC pre will be there in your May June, right? So there are back to back exams. So I took some break from this video making as well, so as to at least get one exam right. Okay, so without wasting time, now let's move forward and see what are the most important news. So the first one is ST do not require biodegradable plastic makers hit a hurdle. Now we have to see, because there is a law also, and there is a promotion to this thing, right? Biodegradable plastic materials. Government is promoting this, and why have they hit hurdle? We have to see. Again, this is a case study. Okay. So about the shifting bank of Ganga, right? And let's see. AI fine 30 lakh. Pilot suspended over media urination rule not required. Chargesheet need to be put in public. Need not to be put in public domain. Okay, we'll see this. We did not wait. Did what was right to help Sri Lanka. We'll see this also. Dissolve wrestling not required. Let's see on this page. Okay, there is nothing here. There is nothing here on this page as well. Okay, and we don't have anything here as well. Okay, there is nothing here as well. What is this PT7? We'll see this very briefly. Test set for capture of PT7 in Kerala. Okay, amount of autonomy at panchayat level, very important. 30 year of government, right? Okay, we'll see this also. The worst effect of faltering Western economies are yet to hit Indian exports, right? You know, India is going to host the G20 annual summit this year, and India is the president right now. So we'll get a lot of articles on G20. Okay, so be prepared. We won't be doing everything, because these are just more or less ideas that the people want government to proceed with. Okay, so they are suggestive in nature. Okay, aging factory, the decline of China population will affect the rest of the world too. If you want, you can read it. I don't see it very important with respect to examination. Okay, enter petition on caste census. Okay, we'll see what it is. India Egypt to hold dialogue on defense ties during CC visit. Okay, he's visiting there. Just know this thing, that Egyptian, I think he's the prime minister or president of Egypt. President, okay, is visiting India. Okay, there is nothing here. Big tech aggregator political support key to make platform pay. New publisher not required. Okay, we'll have to see this. Why? What is this new guidelines? Okay, Navy agreement likely to be part of marching containment. Okay, fine. Stalling production of biodegradable plastic. Yes, I already said that I will be doing this. Okay, we have to see this. Internal security challenges are now thematic. If government goes with this, then mark my word, this question is coming next year in mains. Xi Jinping speaks to troop along India-China border. Okay, there is nothing here. Clashes in Lima is 1,000 rally against Peru government. Okay, Saudi Arabia rules on normalization with Israel. We know that Pakistan is debt ridden, right? So, and it has to be ready to meet all IMF demand to revive bailout program, right? Now again, look, Google has axed 12,000 jobs or 6% of its workforce. Okay, tech sector layoff mounts. So this is what happens when a company just want to run on profit. Look, Tata, I have never heard till date that Tata is laying off, there is a mass layoff in Tata's or some companies, or Birla, you can say, where they are more people oriented than business oriented, and these are more business oriented than people oriented. They are here to do business. Okay, despite economic growth, urban youth find fewer jobs. Hiring shows export. Okay, we'll do this very briefly. We'll do this. What is the case study here? Okay. Now, since today is Saturday, so there would be obviously sport pages and all those things. We won't be doing this very in detail, but yes, just know these things, that these things are there. Okay, and then we have, okay, fine. So let's go on to analyze the news now. Okay, let's see. Chargesheet need not to be put in public domain. Supreme Court on Friday has held that Chargesheet state is not obliged to provide the public free access to Chargesheet by uploading them on police or government website. Okay, so state is not obliged for this. A bench of Justice M.R. Shah and C.T. Ravi Kumar declared Chargesheet private document. Okay, so Chargesheet is a private document till date. So if UPSC has to frame a question, then it will be, one of the statement will be this, that Chargesheet is a private document or Chargesheet is a public document, and we have to identify it as true or false, right? So mark this thing, Chargesheet is a private document. Journalist represented by Prashant Bhujan had referred to the court's 2016 decision on Youth Bar Association of India case, which has directed copies of FIR to be posted within 24 hours of their registration on police or government website. Putting Chargesheet in public domain would enhance transparency in criminal justice system. That they have argued that, okay, if you put the Chargesheet there, then there would be transparency in the criminal justice system or all those things. But court has held that yes, Chargesheet is a private document, right? Just know this thing. Now let's see this Sri Lanka issue. We did not wait, did what was right to help Sri Lanka, Sri Lanka, says Jaishankar. This is reassertion of our policy of neighborhood first, he says, after India's support for the island nation debt restructuring program. Okay, so India and Sri Lanka, let's discuss something before we go on to understand this article, right? So if we see, this is the position of India. Okay, let's just draw the subcontinent map, and this is our Sri Lanka, and there is this thing, right? So why India is interested in Sri Lanka? Fine, why not India can leave Sri Lanka on its situation and move ahead with its economic agendas or economic planning or something like that? Why it is interested in Sri Lanka? Because Sri Lanka is a immediate neighbor. What is Sri Lanka? Immediate neighbor of India, right? This means if Sri Lanka is disturbed, implies India would be disturbed. Can you tell me some region disturbed? TRUB, right? Like there would be migrant crisis in India, right? Crisis in India from Tamil Nadu. Okay, you can understand. No, sorry, Tamil Nadu, no? From Sri Lanka in Tamil Nadu. You can understand this thing. Look, since Sri Lanka is unstable, so people would try to migrate, and the migration will be into Tamil Nadu. Okay, so Tamil Nadu will have a lot of influx of migrants. Again, there will be resurgence of militancy in Sri Lanka. Okay, again, it would be challenging to India's security. Okay, then increased influence of China would be there. Okay, this would lead to what? This would again be against India's interest. Okay, then after, if Sri Lanka is okay, so these are the three major reasons which will affect India, right? So in very short term, migrant crisis will be there. Okay, indirectly resurgence of militancy will lead to challenges in India as well, and there will be influence of China. Another thing we can see that there is this thing, India's investment would be endangered. India's investment in Sri Lanka would be endangered. Why it would be endangered? because look, we share the EZ of India is very close to that of Sri Lanka. Okay, so anything that we are doing in our EZ is again is very close to the threat that is emerging in Sri Lanka, right? So these are some of the reasons why Sri Lanka is very important to India, and one other reason is cultural linkages with Sri Lanka. Okay, cultural linkages with Sri Lanka. You know, Sri Lanka is there in Ramayana, mentioned in Ramayana. Okay, and you know that it is such an old document. So from that time only, Sri Lanka and India shares a very cordial cultural linkages. Sri Lanka is referred in your Buddhist literature. Deep Vamsh. Okay, so we have to, so in this way what we see that India and Sri Lanka share a multi-dimensional relationship, and therefore a stable Sri Lanka is very important to India. Okay, especially stable South India. So what should India do? The question is, what should be India's role? What should India do? Okay, so in short term, economic help. Long term, capacity building. Okay, this is what India can help Sri Lanka with. Fine. Economic help, how it is doing it? Helping, taking guarantees of IMF bailout. Okay, taking guarantees vis-a-vis IMF loans. Okay, it has helped it in this way. Capacity building like in defense. Okay, pharma, agriculture, etc. Fine. So these things are there. We should understand about Sri Lanka's crisis. So why India is interested in Sri Lanka? Okay. So we now understand this, why India is interested in Sri Lanka. What should India do? What are India's role? And why was the crisis? Actually, why Sri Lanka was in crisis? What is the reason behind this? There are many reasons. I'll mark out some of them. Number one was your end of forex of Sri Lanka. Why? Fall of tourism, which was the largest, tourism is the largest forex earner of Sri Lanka, right? Debt trap diplomacy of China with respect to Hambantota port. Okay, this is the second thing. Third thing is unstable political regime. Okay. Fourth thing is overnight switching to organic farming, and this led to hitting of rice plus sugarcane industry. Okay, there were other reasons also. These were one of the most important reasons, right? Then there was forex. Okay, fall in tourism I have already discussed, and then there was one more thing. Yes, these are what it is, right? So these are the main reasons why crisis was there, why India is interested, we have discussed, and what is India's role, we have discussed. Now in this background, let's understand the news. Now you will be better able to comprehend what the news has come, right? So let's see. We did not wait, did what was helped to right Sri Lanka, says Jaishankar. This is reassertion of our policies of neighborhood first. You know, India follows the policy of neighborhood first. He says after India support to island nation debt restructuring program. Fine. India did not wait for other bilateral creditors, but did what was right for Sri Lanka's economic recovery, visiting External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar said on Friday after talks with Sri Lanka President Ranil Wickremesinghe. So this person is Ranil Wickremesinghe ji. Okay, we felt strongly that Sri Lanka creditors must take proactive steps to facilitate its recovery. India has decided not to wait for others, but to do what we believe is right. Okay, just wait a minute. What had happened? Yeah, we extended financing assurances to IMF to clear the. Okay, what we have done, we have extended financing assurances to IMF. I have discussed it right now that we have taken guarantees of for Sri Lanka's in IMF to move forward. He said, adding to the decision that was a reassertion of our neighborhood first policy on January 16. India sent written financing assurances to IMF, becoming the first bilateral creditors of the nation to officially support its crucial debt restructuring program after last year's economic meltdown. The IMF provisional about $3 billion package would be cleared only after Sri Lanka official creditors China, Japan, and India have provided adequate financing assurances. Okay, so $3 billion they will be getting if India, China, and Japan provide adequate financing assurances. India has already provided, so they are waiting for China and Japan. China may create a hurdle. Japan, I don't think, would create a hurdle because they are rich people. Okay, but China may create a hurdle because they are very interested in this Hambantota port. They have been very interested altogether in this island nation only, but Hambantota port is their sweet spot that they consider, right? So okay, so we are done with this thing. You have understood the entire challenge of Sri Lankan crisis. Okay, and you have enough material right now to write for your write a good answer in main. Okay, with 1 or 2 diagram, it would become very, very brilliant answer. Okay, so there is nothing here on these pages. Okay, there's one thing here. Set a stage set for capture of PT-7 in Kerala. Darting team to become operational today. The stage is set for confinement of rogue elephant codename PT-7. Okay, fine. Just know this thing. There's nothing here. So we have to do now the editorial part. Okay, so let's begin understanding it part by part as and when time comes, right? So let's see. There is hardly any autonomy to the panchayat level. A few weeks ago, an up sarpanch in Telangana, Jai Shankar Bhulupalpalli district, committed suicide due to indebtedness. He had taken out a loan to undertake development work in the village and was unable to bear the burden after the state government inordinate delay in releasing bill payment. A few days before the incident, a few sarpanch from incumbent Bharatiya Rashtra Samiti, Telangana's ruling Telangana Rashtra Samiti, now renamed Rashtra Samiti, resigned from office and voiced their anger not at receiving government funds nearly for a year. Sarpanch alleged that failure of the state government to release funds in time has forced them to utilize either private resources or borrow large amount to complete panchayat activity and meet various targets. More than 3 decades after 73rd PRIs and 74th ULBs, okay, which give constitutional to local government, state government through the local bureaucracy, continue to exercise considerable discretionary authority and influence over panchayat. In India, the power of local elected officials remains seriously circumscribed by the state government and local bureaucrats in multiple ways, thereby diluting the spirit of the constitutional amendment and seeking to empower locally elected officials. We analyzed the statutory provisions of Panchayat Act in various states and spoke to several sarpanch and local bureaucrats to assess the extent of decentralization of powers to panchayat. It quickly became very clear to us that sarpanch need to have administrative or financial autonomy for meaningful decentralization. Okay, so if a question comes in your mains examination that discuss why, the question can come like this: that panchayat, although have constitutional status, yet are far from fulfilling their constitutional mandate. Discuss or give reasons or elaborate, elucidate anything. Then one of the point could be this thing, that the sarpanch, or instead of sarpanch you can write directly panchayat. Okay, panchayat need to have administrative or financial autonomy. Okay, not directly sarpanch, but we should write panchayat. Fine. Financial autonomy for meaningful decentralization. The issue of funding. So this is the issue of funds. I always say funds, functions, and functionaries. 3 things are always there. Okay. Gram panchayat remain fiscally dependent on grant, both discretionary and non-discretionary grant. So as far as grants are concerned, they get grants either from state government or central government. Central government give it through finance commission. Okay, like finance commission, the 15th finance commission has given grants directly to local bodies as well, or means not local bodies. Okay, So something state government also gives through grants like discretionary grants and non-discretionary grants and all those things. Okay, from the state and center for everyday activity. Broadly, panchayat have three main sources of fund. Their own sources of revenue like local taxes, revenue from common property resources, etc. Grant in aid from central and state government, and discretionary or scheme-based fund, right? Their own source of revenue, both tax and non-tax, constitute a tiny portion of the overall panchayat fund. For instead, in Telangana, less than a quarter of panchayat revenue comes from its own source of revenue. So we have discussed here what they have discussed, that sources. Okay, sources could be from state government, or yes, let's see, from central government, or we should see it like this. Oh, why it is not working? Yeah, discretionary, non-discretionary. Okay, and discretionary grant is for like scheme based. Okay, so it can be also classified as what? It could be classified as from state government, from central government, right? And this could be central government, and this could be two type. Either it could be grant in aid or for scheme, right? So grant in aid can be finance commission grant or something like that. Further, access to discretionary grant from panchayat remain contingent on political and bureaucratic conditions. Even when higher levels of government allocate funds to local government, sarpanch need help accessing them. An inordinate delay in transferring a approved fund to panchayat accounts stall local development. Okay, an inordinate delay in transferring approved fund to panchayat account stall local development. Obviously, if there is a delay, then local development will be stalled. In Telangana, this has forced sarpanch to use private fund or panchayat activities to fulfill mandated target and avoid public pressure. Delay in disbursement of fund by local bureaucracy have led to pressure on sarpanch, leading to some to end their life. There is also severe constraint on how panchayat can use the fund to allocate the fund allocated to them. State government often imposes spending limits on various expenditure through panchayat fund. Okay, so state government often imposes spending limits on various expenditure through panchayat fund. This could include quotidian activities such as purchasing posters of national icons, refreshments for visiting dignitaries, or distributing sweets to local school at national festivals. Okay. Moreover, almost in all states there is a system of double authorization. Okay, so this is very important point, system of double authorization for spending panchayat fund. So what is this double authorization? Let's see. If it, apart from sarpanch, disbursal of payment required bureaucratic concurrence. Okay, so two things, sarpanch plus bureaucratic concurrence, bureaucracy concurrence. Okay, both of them have to do. The sarpanch and the panchayat secretary, who reports to the BDO, must co-sign the check issued for payment from panchayat fund. Okay, so panchayat and the sarpanch and the secretary. Taxing process, the taxing process of seeking approval. State government also binds local governments through the local bureaucracy, right? Approval for public work projects often require technical approval. Okay, technical approval. This is another challenge. From engineering department and administrative approval. Okay, from local officials and rural development departments such as the block development officer, a tedious process for sarpanch that requires paying multiple visits to government offices. It is also not unusual to find higher level politicians and bureaucrats intervening in selecting beneficiaries for government programs and limiting the power of sarpanch further. Okay, it is not unusual to find higher level politicians and bureaucrats intervening in selecting beneficiaries for government programs and limiting the power of sarpanch further, right? So this is understood point, that there is also a political intrusion. Okay, we surveyed sarpanch in Haryana's Palwal district and found that they spend a substantial amount of time visiting government offices and meeting local bureaucrats and waiting to be seen or heard. So this is the poor state of sarpanch or the local government in India. Okay, sarpanch reported that they need to be in good books of politicians and local bureaucrats if they wanted to access to discretionary resources, timely disbursement, and able to successfully execute any project or program in their village. So what is this? This is the point of lack of objectivity among the bureaucrats or public servant. Okay, so this is a direct example for what? Ethics paper. objectivity, transparency, integrity, that section, right? The ability of Sarpanch to exercise administrative control over local employees is also limited. In many states, the recruitment of local functionaries reporting to the panchayat, such as village watchman or sweeper, is conducted at district or block level. Often the Sarpanch does not even have the power to dismiss the local level employees. Okay, so this is the poor state, that he cannot dismiss even the local employees or suspend it, right? And the recruitment of local functionaries reporting to panchayat, such as this thing, is conducted at district or village level. So recruiting officer is who is where seated at the district or block level. So why would they be responsible to this panchayat even? And the worst part is that panchayat cannot even dismiss them. So panchayat cannot recruit them, panchayat cannot dismiss them. So why they would be responsible to panchayat? They won't be. So this is another challenge. The shadow of bureaucrats, this would always be there. Unlike elected officials at other levels, Sarpanch can be dismissed while in office. Okay. Gram Panchayat Acts in many states have empowered district level bureaucrats, mostly district collector, to act against unbiased for his official misconduct. For instance, Section 37 of Telangana Gram Panchayat Act allows district collector to suspend and dismiss incumbent Sarpanch. On what ground can collector act against Sarpanch apart from abuse of power, embellishment, misconduct? The condition include mere refusal to carry out orders of DC or commissioner or government for the proper working of concerned Gram Panchayat. It is not merely a legal provision. Across the country, there are regular instances of bureaucrats deciding to dismiss Sarpanch from the office. In Telangana, more than 100 Sarpanch has been dismissed from office in recent years. Very important case study. Now, where we can write this? It is the failure of PRIs in deepening democracy. Okay, so this is the point. Selected representative can dismiss elected representative. This is a very, very important point that we have to mark out. Okay, in one such case, the official reason was protest against the denial of land for electric substation. The situation in Telangana is a reminder for state government to re-examine the provisions of their respective Gram Panchayat laws and consider greater devolution of fund functionaries and functionaries. Okay, Gram Panchayat laws. Okay, re-examine and greater devolution of fund functionaries and functionaries to local government. The state level politicians and government officials resist giving Sarpanch power because they feel that Sarpanch will misuse the fund allocated to the village. This is a case of pot calling the kettle black. India has limited decentralization because if local government get genuine autonomy to allocate monies, power will shift from the MLAs and the state government controlled bureaucracy to the Sarpanch. Okay, so this is the thing. Find a very fine article on the poor state of PRIs in India, and it has been exemplified adequately from that of Telangana's model, right? So we have to understand this it is a very crucial article in my opinion. Okay, and this needs to be done properly. I've given a lot of insights to this article during the discussion. So with that background, you can understand the article right now. Now let's see the one more article was there. Yes, trade winds. A small article. Let's see what it has promised. Okay, December 2022 marked the steepest fall in 2 years of Indian goods exports. Okay, with product worth $35 billion shipped out, 12.2% lower than a year ago, right? This was the second time in 3 months that shipment dropped year on year, and top commerce ministry officers sought to calm nerves by citing the global headwind that were posing challenges for Indian merchandise. These includes clouds of recession. What are the global headwinds? So this is a keyword, global headwinds. So whenever you write an economy answer related to trade and you have to write international situations, so write this thing, global headwinds, right? And these includes what? Clouds of recession blowing through Europe and the US, the COVID-19 situation in China, reversion towards the protectionism in some market. 3 things are there. One is recession, second is COVID, and third is protectionism. To be clear, a high base effect also played a role in exaggerating a year-on-year export dip in September. Look, what is base effect? I've explained it many times. Let me explain it one more time. Base effect is nothing but when you calculate percent increase or decrease of percentage, how do you calculate it? Final value minus initial value by initial value into 100. So if initial value is small, or let me write it down so that there is a better understanding. It's 22, no? Not 222, it's 22. Okay, so when we write percentage change, what we write? Final value minus initial value by initial value into 100%. This is what we write. Now say final value is 110, initial value is 100, so percentage change is obviously 10%. 110 minus 100 by 100 into 100%, that is 10%. Now if initial value was 50, then percentage change would be 110 minus 50 by 100, 50 into 100, okay, and this would come out to be how much? 50 and 60, 110 to 1 means 120%, and this would be this would give me 60 to the 120%. So you see, when base level decreases, what happens? The increase increases, okay, and vice versa would be also true. Means if base level increases, the increase will decrease. Now in this background, try to understand, this is called base effect, okay. So this is known as base. So with increase or decrease of base, what will happen? The overall increase or the overall change would be also reflected in that manner. So in this background, if you consider this article, then you will get better understanding of what the person is saying, okay. So here on dip in, okay, high base effect means base was higher last year. Now last year the base was 200, so and and this year say the base becomes 100, so what will happen? There will obviously a less increase, right? Has clocked the second highest export, about 40 billion, when the Indian goods shipment crossed a record of 422 billion, okay. So there was momentum build up. How? A strong post-pandemic pent-up rebound to shuttering growth trajectory and soaring inflation and geopolitical modeling, with Ukraine-Russia conflict counting only as one of the many shocks to global economy. Amid this tumultuous time, a month-on-month reading of export trend is perhaps better way to gauge the situation. For now, December export numbers, even if lifted by last batch of pre-holiday festive shipment reaching their destined shore, hold up well on this front. And okay, these are numbers, just know these numbers, not very important, just you have to know 3-4 terms. Geopolitical headwind, okay, this thing, where it is, yes, global headwinds, and what are the 3 things that affects it, right? 3-4 things are there, including Russia-Ukraine crisis, right? Fine. So let's see if anything else is there. One more news was there, as I remember. SC declines to entertain petition on caste census. So we know that there is a caste census proposed in Bihar. It is being conducted in Bihar. Okay, 550 crores has been will be spent on this thing, and it has to be completed by May 2023. So these are some of the basics of caste census. And what is caste census? You know, caste census, it is a type of census that would give numbers and percentage of various caste in Bihar. So it would obviously be a two-edged sword, and thus would need a limitation from ethics side as well. Okay, bench petition, ask petition to approach High Court concerned. Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar welcomes the decision, saying that those are trying to stop the survey has been proven wrong and all those things. So this is a publicity interest litigation. So a new word, PIL is public interest litigation. This is a publicity interest litigation, right? How can we issue direction on how much reservation should be granted to such and such caste? Sorry, we can't issue such direction and can't entertain this person. Okay, fine. Just give it a read. I don't think anything important is there. It is more political than court thing, right? So I think, okay, one more news is there. Cut. So new guideline to regulate promotions on social media. Okay, so this is the news. Now let's see the center on Friday. Okay, now let's see. Release the endorsement guideline for celebrities and social media influencers, mandating compulsory disclosure of monetary or material benefits of a product or a brand they are promoting through social media platform. Means failing to do will attract a penalty up to 50 lakh. Releasing the guideline, Union Consumer Affairs Secretary said that the disclosure must be prominently and clearly displayed in the endorsement in terms of advertisement, sponsored or paid. Okay. Endorsement in terms of advertisement, sponsored or paid promotion should be used for all sort of endorsement. The step means like in YouTube video only you can see that it would come here that it is paid promotion. Okay, it comes like this. When I upload the video, then there is a column there that is your video a paid promotion, and if we have to say that yes or no, right? So similarly they have made it compulsory. Okay. The step, he said, is after considering the increased use of social media for promotion activities that go beyond advertisement or adverto reels in print and electronic media. Fine, this is a good step. The guide endorsement know-hows created for celebrity influencers and virtual influencers on social media platform aims to ensure that individuals do not mislead their audience when, so this is the main aim, okay, do not mislead their audience when endorsing products or services they are in compliance with or Consumer Protection Act. While the increasing reach of digital platforms and so-called media such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, okay, has been on a rise in the influence of virtual influencers in addition to celebrities on social media influencers. This has led to increased risk of consumer being misled by advertisement and unfair trade practices, etc., etc., etc. The guideline specified that disclosure must be prominently and clearly displayed in endorsement. Okay, fine. Making them extremely hard to miss. Okay, so it should be properly seen, right? Not that this is your page, so you just display it here for say 0.001 second and say that yes, I have displayed it. No, it should be properly seen and it should be extremely hard to miss, right? And all the Netflix benefits and incentives, maintain other compensation, trips or hotel stay, media, etc., 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 right? So this is the thing, and this is in tune with the slogan Jago Grahak Jago, right? So fine, this is a very good step and you can mark it out as a new regulation to social media. If you are an influencer, then this is for you. If not, then you will in future obviously become the influencer after becoming IS, IPS or your dream job, whatever you get. So then only you will, then also you will be an influencer. So this is for all of us, right? Government policy model in styling production of biodegradable plastics. Okay, let's see. Okay. Several manufacturers stare at an uncertain future as lack of coordination among multiple ministries has led to logjam in production of alternatives to SUP, single-use plastic. Okay, is biodegradable plastic made in India actually biodegradable? 8 months after the center banned single-use plastic and paved way for the use of biodegradable plastic, a lack of coordination among the multiple ministries has led to questions remaining unanswered. The consequence of this is that many of who are now unable to manufacture single-use plastic goods invested in making biodegradable alternative are unable to produce them and stare at an uncertain future. The BIS has established a provisional protocol for testing biodegradable plastic that says 90% of biodegradation should be achieved to pass the test, okay, which may take up to 2 years. Fine, so the problem is, let's read it out. Mr. Panwar and few other firms have supplied this to small-scale plastic manufacturers in India. However, they say that they have run into a problem because it will take a minimum of 2 years to check if plastic are 90% biodegradable or not. The Environment Ministry has notified this thing provisional certificate valid till June 2023 from Central Pollution Control Board, allowing them to make biodegradable plastic plastic goods. Such a certificate could be procured if manufacturer obtain an interim test report. When I submitted an interim test report to the CPCB for license, it was rejected because they insisted that they would only consider a test that shows 90% degradation as valid. This is unfair as nowhere in the rules it says that interim means 90%. Okay, an official affiliated to Environment Ministry who had declined to be identified told him that agency hands were tied. The CPCB does not create standards or rules. As long as CIPET can say that the tested product is biodegradable, it can give the certificate. But if CIPET says that product has degraded 5% or 10% in certain period, the CPCB can't assume it will be disintegrated entirely. So yes, this is an actual problem. This is a tussle kind of thing. Look, economy versus environment debate has always been there and will always be there. Okay, if you don't have food in your stomach, you won't care for environment. If you have a lot of food in your stomach, you won't care for your environment. Okay, so both the things are there and we have to understand it in this manner. Now you have taken out SUP from the scope. Okay, SUP, single-use plastic, has been banned and there is no alternative to it. So what will happen? People will switch again to SUP. This would be the main problem. Okay, you took something from a person and didn't give it to him, then what will happen? Then that person will take it again, will go back to SUPs and the entire exercise will fail. Okay, a kind of alternative is required in this case also, and plus there is problem of what? Bureaucratization plus rule book bureaucracy. Okay, these things are there that obviously is harmful for the entire economy and the environment itself also, right? Internal security challenges are now. Thematic says, today is a long read. We have been reading for right now about more than 45 minutes, right? Internal security challenges are now. Thematic says, Union Home Minister Amit Shah said on Friday that Jammu Kashmir was gradually heading towards a peace and stability, and that internal security challenges in the country have transformed from geographic to thematic. Fine. Earlier problems were geographical unrest like in Northeast, terrorism in JNK, left-wing extremism in affected areas. Okay, LWE corridor that we say, right? You know LWE corridor? I'll draw it for you. It's like this. The entire Bihar, UP, Jharkhand, Odisha, Telangana and these things were their LWE corridor. Okay. Become multidimensional as narco terror and fourth generation war have chipped in. So what he has said, thematic like cyber security and data security. Problem have also come multidimensional as narco terrorism, fourth generation warfare. Okay. There was a time when children from Jammu and Kashmir used to go to study in other parts of the country due to insurgency, but today 32,000 children from other parts of the country are studying in JNK. Fine. He said that police in all the states have cooperated to nab Popular Front of India culprits. Adding to that, it shows the power of India's cooperative federalism and all those things. We have attended massive success in taming left-wing terror. In 2010, there were 96 terror-affected districts, which has now reduced to 46. 72% of security vacuums has been purged, and I have complete faith in that by 2024 we will plug 100% vacuum and take absolute control of the situation. In left-wing affected region, all kind of violence have been seen a 40 to 60% decline. Okay, so this is a cozy picture that government is trying to present. Yes, they have come up with data, but they have not quoted from where this data has come. Still, we can believe the government because yes, we are seeing less news in media regarding Jammu and Kashmir now, regarding this thing, LWE, left-wing terrorism, right? But again, we have to understand that media can never be totally unbiased. It is biased, so it may be biased in government favor. We have to balance it out. But yes, one thing that is missing in this article is from where these data have come, right? Okay, I'm not criticizing the government, but yes, I have the right to be critical about the government policies and whatever it is presenting to me, because we are the people of India and we own the country. Fine, and all the politicians and everyone is responsible at last to the people of India. So as a citizen of India, we can question the government, but we should not consider just questioning the government for the sake of questioning. But if there is pith and substance in that, then we must question the government, right? And we know that Google has asked about 12,000 jobs or 6% of his workforce. That's very sad state, right? So we are done with today's newspaper analysis. I hope you like it. If you like it, consider giving it a thumbs up. Okay, let me write it down somewhere. Yes, there was one page I have kept 23. Okay, so we are done. So consider subscribing the channel, liking the content, sharing, and thank you all for patiently listening to the analysis. I hope it has added some value to your knowledge base. Okay, bye bye. Keep studying hard.